I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. Today I wanted to share with all of you a few card making projects that I did using Pebeo products. I have been meaning to do this video for quite a while, showing you guys how wonderful Pebeo paints and watercolors are. I'm used to using mainly acrylics, but lately I have been on this watercolor kick. I've been having way too much fun with them. And when I was at Creativation, I had the wonderful opportunity to meet with some representatives from Pebeo. And we were talking and I explained to them what I was doing, and so I was able to collaborate with them, and they sent me a box full of products. And I did do a video showing all the amazing products that they sent me, but as you guys know, I have been having all sorts of computer issues. In fact, I had to get a new computer, and when I went to transfer things over, I lost a lot of my videos. But I was hoping, at least with this video, I would be able to show you how amazing the Colorex watercolor inks are. Like I said, I've been having way too much fun, and I do plan on carrying these in my shop. So if you guys think this might be something that you're interested in trying, just reach out to me and I can definitely get you an order placed for the Colorex watercolors. The main colors that I ended up using, I will be sure to list those in the description, and those were the main colors that I found I use the most when I'm coloring in faces. So what you see here is I stamped one of my stamp designs. It was the Unraveled Dreams design onto one of the frames from the Floral Easy Cuts digital collection. Now, what I'm going to do is actually switch over. I stamped this image again onto a blank sheet of mixed media paper, and you're going to see me switch over to that here in just a little bit. And the main reason I did that is because I wanted to show you the coloring technique that I did here. And there's a wonderful shot of my thumb. Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing is I'm going to start off with the sepia color, and I want to do a little bit of shading right around the edges of the face, and I'm going pretty light. I don't have a lot of product on my brush. In fact, you just need to put a drop of this, the Colorex watercolor inks, onto, I put it onto some parchment paper. And my brush, I'm always dabbing it onto a paper towel so my paper doesn't get overly saturated. So yeah, there's just a little bit of product on my brush, and I'm going pretty light. I'm barely putting pressure down on the paper as I'm going around the edges there. And what I'm going to do next is take some of the Pebeo acrylic white paint and blend that into the sepia watercolor that I laid down on the paper. And as you'll see, the white acrylic paint blends in beautifully with the watercolor ink. I was so impressed with how it blended. And the main thing I was trying to focus on is keeping everything in the center of the face really light, and then going darker as I went out towards the edge of the face. So I was really trying to keep the cheeks and right around the inner part of the nose really light, almost white. I just didn't want a lot of color there for now. And as you can see, when I add the white acrylic paint to the watercolors, everything just blends so beautifully. This is so easy to work with, and I think it's, no matter what skill level you are, even if you're just a beginner, this is a wonderful product to use. Just a few inks and some white acrylic paint, and you can achieve this beautiful skin tone effect on your face, or on the coloring of your face. Kind of sound funny. I don't know. Oh, this voiceover thing, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. I've said that in every video so far, but it's still really new to me. So I'm slowly learning how this program works. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, again, I'm just applying just a little bit of my white acrylic paints and blending everything out, trying to get rid of any hard lines that I might have. And I want to be careful, again, not to put too much water down onto my paper, because it is just a mixed media paper. It's not a real heavyweight watercolor paper. I didn't want the texture that you get from watercolor paper. I wanted it to be somewhat of a smoother textured paper. And I'm applying the paint real loosely. Like I'm not trying to be too perfect. I'm just being really, again, light with my pressure and just loosely painting the watercolor ink and acrylics onto the paper. And then here in a little bit, I'm going to show you how I paint in the lips, and then afterwards I'm going to just put on some music and let you guys follow along, and you can just watch the magic happen. These products, again, they're wonderful to work with, whether you're a beginner, whether you're more advanced. These are some of the best products that I've used. I'm totally in love with the Colorex Watercolor Inks and the acrylics. They're highly pigmented. They're a very high professional quality. And again, I do plan on carrying their products in my shop, so be on the lookout. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a little bit of the white acrylic paint and trying to soften that line a little bit. I want to shape my lapes. I want to ship my lapes. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I get so tongue-tied. Okay, I'm trying to say I want to shape the lips. And so I'm applying a little bit of the white acrylic paint just on that very outer edge of that black line on the top lip there. Okay, and here in a little bit you're going to see me take a mix of the sepia color with the vermilion color, so I get kind of a reddish brown tint that I'll be applying to the lips. And when I paint the lips, I don't want to color in all of the lip area. As you can see, I'm leaving some spaces where I'm not applying any watercolor ink, and I'm doing that intentionally because that's where I want to create those little highlights, and that's what gives the lips more of a realistic look, and like they have that sheen and shine to them. So I leave a little bit of, you know, some spaces there where I don't apply any watercolor ink. And you can see where I got my paper too wet on that cheek area, and my paper is starting to bubble a little bit, but I'm hoping when the paper dries that will flatten back out. And now I'm just adding a little bit of a mixture of some yellow mixed in with some of the pink tone and the sepia color to get this flesh tone, just to kind of mute down a little bit of that purplish pink color that I have going on her face. I want to just kind of tone that down a little bit. And again, I'm just taking more of just the acrylic white paint, going over everything, blending everything out, and lightening in that center section of her face. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some music on here in a little bit. One thing is you'll see I start to go in with her eyes, and I'm using an olive colored ink there for her eyes, and then I just mix a little bit in with the white acrylic paint to add in my highlights. And then what you're going to see me do here in a little bit is apply a little bit more of that flesh tone color, mainly over those shaded areas, again just to kind of tone down that purplish pink a little bit. And again, the more colors, the more building of colors and layers, that is what creates that beautiful, more realistic look to your painting. Now there's a whole lot more, time that I could spend on this and just keep adding those layers and really building on this. But this is just to give you guys a general idea of how you can work with your colors, blending your colors, and just showing you how beautiful these watercolor inks work. Now I'm going up into the flower area, and as you can see, I'm not even trying to be perfect at all. I'm just laying down some color here and there, trying to get into where I think the darker areas of the flower are going to be, and then I'm just taking some white acrylic paint again and just using that to kind of blend everything in and create variations, different colors of that watercolor ink. And as you can see, I'm just kind of blotching it all down and not trying to be perfect. I'm really being loose with the way that I'm painting the watercolor ink on. And later I'll go back and I'll take my fine white pen and I'll add in a little bit of highlights and everything and define the shape of the flower a little bit more. But for now, as you can see, I'm just getting the base coat of the color down onto the flower, adding a little bit of shading and highlights, but my main part of the highlighting process will be the final steps where I just add that little bit of detail with my fine white pen. So I'm going to go ahead and put some music on now and let you guys kind of just follow along and watch me complete the flowers and some of the ribbon. And then I also go in and I paint in the dragonfly wings. So I'll just let you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so I'm just about close to finishing up here. I'm just adding in a few more highlights with my white pen. As you can see, I added some highlights in the dragonfly wings, and now I'm adding some highlight to the tip of the rose petals. And I could spend probably a few more hours just sitting here playing around, adding more color, building more layers, adding a little more detail. But my main objective with this video was to show you all how easy it is to work with the Pebeo watercolor inks, the Colorex watercolor inks, and my technique of adding in the Pebeo white acrylic paint and blending that in with the watercolors. It's just a really fun technique, and as you can see, it just beautiful products. They're highly pigmented. Just I love working with them. I can't say enough great things about them. And so look for those. I hope to carry those soon in the next few weeks in my shop. And if you guys have any questions, you're always free to contact me at my email address, which I will have listed below. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going through adding in those other highlights and that sheen, that metallic gold sheen that you see there. I did add in some of the Pebeo acrylic metallic gold, which is just stunning, as you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm going to attach this to that frame from the Easy Cuts, add in some flowers from the Floral Easy Cuts, that digital collection, and the butterfly that you see. And I made a tag that I stamped on that says Unravel Your Dreams that came with this stamp. Okay, so before I leave all of you, I wanted to mention really quick the giveaway details for that vintage junk journal. To enter, please contact me by email, leave me your email address. One way to do this is to subscribe to my newsletter. That way I have your email address and I will know how to contact you if you win once I draw your name. And I'll provide those details down below. All right, everyone, thank you again for all the amazing support. And if you like this video, please be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll catch you on my next video.